Hello and welcome to MotorCult episode 18. I'm Eric Berger, joined as always by Ryan Sinetsky. Hello, sir.
Hello there.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Super warm in here still.
It is hotter than all balls.
And we've actually got another guest on today, Alex Bellus.
Hi.
Of
That's
First
me.
Name, Last Name Photography.
That's the one.
The original.
No, there is actually a first name, last name photography. If you go first name, last name photography.com.
Tell those
It's
people
somebody else's website.
to cease and desist, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
send them the
Yeah.
cease and desist.
And then we've also got Nick back just as a peanut gallery and a partial
Color commentary.
a helper or outerer.
Hi, everybody. I'm a producer.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
producer. He is our marketing and coordinator now.
Intern?
So, yeah, there you go, intern.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, we're going to start off with beer. Ryan, what are you and I drinking?
Oh my god, it's so fucking hot out here. Oh. Anyway, it's Schnell's Hefeweizen. Oh, that was
So
very
that
good.
might have been partially my fault.
Schnell's Hefeweizen.
Okay.
Usually we don't put on something that's from like anything really larger than craft brewery because there's just so much to choose from.
Yeah.
But this is kind of an interesting reason why I have this here. Actually, the largest strike in the liquor industry in Minnesota ever.
That's a lot of qualifiers.
Yeah, well, ended just the other day.
Oh.
And
Oh, my.
Schnell's distributor was the plaintiff in that. So
I see.
anyway, let's crack her open, see how it is.
God dang Schnell's
I've
That's
never had their
J.J. Taylor.
Hefeweizen.
edutainment.
It could be terrible.
No,
Who
J.J.
knows?
Taylor.
Shell's has been around forever.
I know they have been, but so is Budweiser.
Well,
And they're not
yeah.
good.
No. That's fair.
That's a really
That's
good
pretty
beer.
decent.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good beer.
I get the upper hand here because I get to kind of open it and
Yeah,
start
you
drinking
do.
it before the podcast and sort of form an opinion if I'm really thirsty, and I was really thirsty.
Yeah.
So
only
yeah,
time.
it's a Hefe. I mean, it's a Hefe. I mean, it's
It's
got
really,
kind of an
really hard.
orangey quality to it.
It's hard to make one of these
excellent on
bad.
a 90 something. I can't see the thermostat from here, but it's hot in here.
Yeah, I wish I had air conditioning.
It says 85 down
Yeah,
there, but
well,
I guarantee you it's 30 degrees hotter in here.
Well, we'll get
Up
to
here.
what you drove here, Alex. Don't
Okay.
you worry. But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
you do not have air conditioning in that.
Uh-uh.
But yeah, no, the beer is excellent. What are you drinking, Alex?
I've got a Modus Brewing
Tallboy.
Tallboy.
Tallboy citrus.
citrus
we
lager.
reviewed that a while back.
Yep. No, I was gonna say the can looks familiar,
Yes, it does.
and I remember it being
It's
a
a
good
Harmar
hot
Superstar.
drinker.
As a fan
Tallboy.
of Harmar
Yeah,
Superstar,
man.
I saw that and I thought I'd give it a shot. And
Hell
it's
yeah.
a perfectly
It's a great
refreshing
guy.
beer for a day like today.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Did you see him at Art World?
No.
He did that free concert at
I did not.
Bauhaus. Super
I
good,
was down
actually.
for that.
Oh my God, guys! The screen popped up.
Whoa.
It's not
Oh,
working
finally.
properly yet. But anyway, Nick,
But no, it's actually really good. He had a cold and
What do you-
everything,
what-
but
what
he's
do you-
still really good.
what's Nick drinking?
This is a Fulton
Ooh.
Continental Pilsner.
Ooh,
That's
It's
fancy.
quite refreshing.
is it from all continents or just one?
I believe it's all continents basically.
Okay,
Made by
I'm
Lincoln.
glad that it
Yes.
is. Oh, Jesus.
Or Porsche in 1957 before they were sent to cease and desist by Ford.
All right, so Alex, I want to get into a couple of standardized guest questions that we have, but
Yes.
first off, we're kind of trying to hone it still on what we
Okay.
ask everyone. So give me a brief bio, who you are, and then you can touch on also your company,
Okay.
if you'd like.
Hi, I'm Alex.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I guess it is. I'm a car guy.
Nice.
I like cars.
Sweet.
I've kind of tailored my entire life around cars.
Nice.
Yeah. Now I take photos of cars,
Nice.
and yeah, I don't know. I went to
Cool.
school for automotive engineering, and then I worked at the Ford plant in St. Paul for a couple years
Did
before they
not know
shut that
that.
down. And now I work at a dealership. Oh, I reviewed cars for a couple years.
Dang.
Oh, who'd you review for?
IHS, it's a big market research firm.
Oh, yeah, I know who IHS is. Yeah.
I did
And-
not know
yeah,
that.
and
I'm
then-
learning so much about Bellus today.
Yeah,
That's
And
how you
then-
ended up at a dealership event. Yeah.
kind of. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got a
it's
little burnt out on the
it's a
review
sta-
process.
It's a standard
yeah.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I was at the Motorplex Happy Hour. They do one every month just before the Cars and Caves Day
Yeah.
yesterday. And it is staggering how many people know you, sir. I was talking
Yeah,
to
I'm
Brett
pretty-
and Laura. They're 5 units down,
yeah.
and they're like, I just told them to come out and
I
razz you. but-
name dropped Alex to my coworker.
You
Well,
name
well,
dropping,
I-
Ryan?
Yeah, I know. I never do that. But no, I name dropped him. I'm like, oh, my coworker's like, who are you interviewing? I'm like, oh, this guy named Alex Bell. I was like, I know who he is. Oh, of course he does.
You guys are gonna make me blush.
Yeah.
Aw, well, it's
Oh, and I
super
used
hot
to race
out.
with Nick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen some in-car.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
getting
for
sideways
sure.
in turn one at Road America.
Nice. Nice. In a front-wheel drive Golf.
Yeah. Just
So
pin it.
what did you drive today?
I drove a 1970 Baja Bug.
That is a very regular daily driver.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's what
Yeah.
I expected you to show up in. We were noticing before you got here a very large smoke cloud on the horizon that
wasn't
we
me.
thought was potentially you because of one of your many flammable vehicles.
Well, really, most of his vehicles. I
Yeah.
think.
All of them,
Yeah.
actually, except for my wife's daily driver. That's
What
pretty
is
Right, the
what is
Veloster.
your wheelhouse consisting of, right? These
So
days?
currently, my daily driver is a 1999 Toyota 4Runner
That thing is pimping.
SR5. It's all set up for overlanding
That's a
off-roading.
manual, is
With
it
a
not?
manual. It
Fuck
is a
yeah.
manual.
It's just like my burrito.
Was
Yeah.
that Ryan's old one?
No,
They had? Oh,
I don't think so.
Okay.
And then, yeah, let's see. My wife's got a 2012 Hyundai Veloster, which is the old reliable.
Yep.
Gets us everywhere.
Wrapped like a candy cane. some of
Yeah,
the time.
exactly. Yep. And then for fun cars, I've got a 87 Porsche 944 Turbo.
Which I cannot believe has not blown up.
You take
Well,
care of it. It won't.
I put it away for the winter back in October, and I haven't seen it since. So
Oh.
It could have.
I'm gonna get it out of the garage today, though.
This is real wood.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. Good, perfect.
Now that we have 4 microphones, it really
Oh,
reverberates.
Yeah. It's
so.
great. Yeah. So the Porsche, and then I've got the 1970 Baja Bug and an 85 Alfa Romeo Spider.
What trim level is that Alfa
It
Romeo
is
Spider?
the Spider Veloce.
Oh, is it a graduate?
Well, that's the base model. The Graduate's the base model, and then
Oh.
the Spider Veloce is the mid level, and then there's the
Oh.
Quadrifoglio, which is the upper end one.
Even though
Was-
the graduate's a lower trim, I wish yours.
Was the
So
graduate?
I actually bought that car for my wife as a graduation gift from her master's program at the U of M.
Right, I
So we
remember
got
that.
custom vanity collector
Oh,
plates that
that's
say
what it is.
graduate
Okay,
on it.
all right.
So yeah,
That's still pretty
Did,
cool.
So was the graduate only the base model on the Giulia?
on the Spider.
On Spider, I'm
I
sorry.
think
Was
so.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
So like on like the Alpha Stud was the base model called like the undergrad or the dropout or
It
something.
was called the GED.
The flunky. Yeah,
The flunky.
One or the other.
Alpha
yeah.
said GED.
They couldn't. Well, no, it was so bad they
Wow,
couldn't
it sounds
spell.
like a
They couldn't even
diesel.
spell GED.
FLU.
Yeah.
I've got a 1982 Alfa Romeo Alpha Stud Flunky, and we're gonna turn this into a cracking
That
little
sounds like
motor.
it would have been like an Alfa Romeo exclusively sold in the north of England where they
Yeah,
talk
right,
like that.
exactly.
Oh, I've got flunky.
Do you know what the trim level got you? What was the?
So leather
gown.
stuff. Wood steering wheel, wood shift lever.
I almost just
I don't
plastered my
actually know.
laptop.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a few air conditioning.
Whoa,
power,
alright,
power
wow.
windows.
Decadent
Wow.
capitalist
I know.
pig.
None of it worked. Actually, the air conditioning does work. Air conditioning works. Power windows.
I never ever would have thought.
Power windows don't work at the moment.
Oh no.
At the
Yeah.
moment.
Oh, I
So
saw it
they're
at Wheels
stuck
of
up.
Italy last year. And
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
I had Jen at Cosmetology detail it right before
Ooh,
then.
name dropping. I like
yeah,
this.
you know.
This is good. All right,
It's,
so that
it's definitely the most iconic looking Alfa Romeo Spider, I think, with the color combination. And
Yeah,
everything.
red on black.
The red on
hard
black.
hard to go wrong
I
there.
think for like that particular body style, like that's the one you think of
Yeah.
when you think of that. Because the older like 61s, the super fancy like ones.
Yeah, the
those-
boat tail ones are really
the-
cool.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
ones are really cool, but that's not the one you
Well, they-
immediately think of.
they made that same like basic underpinning car for like God,
Started in
40 years,
mid
like
60s,
30
and they
years or something.
yeah, the
It went
production
through
line
like 91 or something crazy.
91, 92, something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
it was. They made it forever.
The cool thing about that, about the particular car that we've got,
Yeah.
I've got every single receipt ever for it. It's got 104,000 miles on it. I have every
How
receipt.
many-
And the original window sticker. It was bought by an architect in Santa Monica
Ooh,
as like her out of, she graduated from architecture school. I did a
Seeing a
deep,
pattern here with graduation and buying
yeah,
this car.
exactly. I did a deep dive on her because I've got all these receipts. I could look her up.
Wait,
It's a
wait,
little
wait.
creepy.
You dove deep into whom?
The lady who owned the car.
Oh my.
Oh my!
I looked her up.
Does your wife know that?
She was part of it. She was
Oh,
there.
Anyway, damn.
Yeah, it was
wow.
weird.
Okay.
But no, it was good. We figured out the whole. She
I'm
owned it
sure.
for 24 years, or 26 years, or something like
Damn,
that.
dude. How many metric tons is that folder of receipts?
It's big. It's like
probably-
it's like at least 2-3 inches
I was
thick.
gonna say that one time I bought that
gonna be like a
325,000 mile 97 M3 and it had every receipt from new, including the window sticker. I went through after I bought the car and I totted up the dollar amounts on everything.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I really wish you hadn't told me that. It was like $84,000 in
Oh my
service receipts.
God.
this has got to be one of the most expensive Alpha Spiders in the country. It's got
Yeah.
probably 40 something, $50,000
Oh my
worth of
God.
receipts.
Oh.
Jesus.
Yeah,
But it's a lovely car because
is,
of
it's
it.
great.
So
yeah.
all right, well,
Okay, sorry.
we got through how you got into cars, and you kind of briefly went over kind of your path to getting to where you are right now. But how are you involved in the local makeup? I mean, we've already kind of said that a bunch of people that are in the car community that don't necessarily know one another know you. It's like, how did you get to that space once you got into photography?
I I don't know, talking
Just
to people,
organically,
going
just
to,
like,
yeah,
all right, just doing everything
going
you
to car
possibly
shows.
can.
Being
I've
a
been-
friendly guy.
yeah, trying to be.
Damn.
I don't know. I love.
Maybe I should try to do that someday.
It's more
It's
fun being an
really,
asshole.
it's
Oh, yeah.
really, really tough. I tried that once. It came out really awkward. Everybody thought I had like developmental disorder.
Yeah, I
And
feel like
then
people would
it
probably
was
commit
bad.
me.
So I just went back to being a dick because it works.
Yeah, I'm
it's
definitely
much
a-
more natural for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, usually my downtime, I'm an asshole, but
Oh, nice.
yeah, part-time
Maybe
asshole.
that's why we get along. At least
Yeah.
I can like sense through to your actual inner asshole.
Yeah. Wait, that got weird.
Yeah, I don't mean like
All
inside
right.
of your
So
asshole. But, okay.
moving on. What are your favorite events and shows like in town?
Local stuff.
Yeah, local
Loads of
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a staple of Cars and Coffee. I've been going to that since it started, basically way back at Caribou off of 62.
62 and 212.
Yep.
Shady Oak.
So I go to every single one of those that I can. I'm part of kind of a big part of the local rally scene in terms of not like off-road rally necessarily, but
talking
road
like
rally
Cannonball
stuff.
and
Cannonball,
Crown
Crown, some of that kind of stuff.
Polar Run.
Polar Run. I
The
was
best
there.
one.
It's
Cool
the
rallies.
coldest one.
You were an OG Polar Run.
I was on the first one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've kind of
I love
done
that
a lot of
rally.
that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
and
Cool.
then just taking pictures of stuff.
I'm partial to that. I mean, I really shouldn't say this because I want to keep the show as big a secret as I can. But man, that Pozzolino Wheels of Italy.
That's a good time.
No, we're
That's a fun one.
gonna talk about that. We're gonna say it, but we're not gonna say when it is.
Okay.
And when it does come up, we're gonna give you the wrong date,
Why?
so you don't come.
Oh yeah, it is good to
Because
keep it small.
we don't want to
Yeah.
turn into Cars and Coffee where
No.
you have every boob in Minnesota showing up.
I
and,
do like boobs,
ruining
though.
it.
Yeah.
You
I
guys
like
are-
boobs too, but not that kind of boob.
Okay.
You guys are aware this is a podcast, right?
We like boobs.
You're safe. Don't worry about it. No one's gonna.
Yeah, that's, true.
Nobody listens to this. It's
Nobody
fine.
actually listens to podcasts, and
Wait.
the people that do will not remember.
Wait,
Can I curse on this?
Yeah.
yeah, I mark everything as explicit just in case.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Cool.
You can curse in
Alright.
the you can curse in
Damn
the woods too.
I will.
They
All right.
don't when they fall and nobody's around. They don't make a sound.
Okay.
All right. Now we've got the standard questions. Now that we've gotten you through the
Yeah.
butter zone. The first one is
The butters.
given that man, then the first four, the butter zone. Given the choice between a slow car driven fast, and I know your answer because I see what you pull up in right now, but a slow car fast or a fast car slow, which would you pick?
I'm gonna flip the script. Slow car slow.
There we go.
That's not an option. You
Okay,
gotta pick
fine.
one of the
Slow
two.
car fast.
Perfect. That's
Slow
the correct
car
answer.
as fast as it can go.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been bored
Full-
out.
Yeah. Full send in that
Yeah.
thing all the
Send
time.
it.
Yeah.
Just want to send it. All right, and then the second one, I'll let Ryan prompt you with because I feel like I've taken up most of the beginning part of this. That was me.
So we called this the Mondial Challenge. Berger was given the chance to purchase a Ferrari Mondial, Quattrovalvole.
Because you don't own one. Do you regret not buying it?
He
I
tried to buy
regret
it.
not buying this one. I
Yeah.
did try to buy it, but
Okay.
I had to go through a friend of mine who lives out there, Aaron Stokowski, a previous podcast guest. And he, unfortunately, since his job split his time during the week between Minneapolis and San Diego, he didn't have time to get it.
Interesting.
before. Anyway, it was
Sorry.
$6,500.
Anyway, it's $6,500 for the car, no engine or transmission. So you can have it's a great car. It's pretty cheap to really like purchase in good condition. So
Okay.
it's not economically feasible to put in the original engine and transmission.
Yeah, it was a Quattrovalvole car.
So it was like it was basically a Ferrari 308 drivetrain, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's really sought after drivetrain, just not a sought after car.
Right.
So
even though it was a hard top and it had speedline wheels and stuff.
yes.
Ooh.
So the question is, what engine and
Ryan, you
transmission?
were bumping the shit out of the microphone somehow.
I'm
I don't-
not.
Well, the table then, something. It's coming
Anyway,
through.
the engine and transmission are missing. So what would you put into it? It has to be transverse, and you can. I'm sorry, I keep going with that. Hey,
That's fine.
Mellows.
You
has to
emote
be-
a lot. It's great.
Has to be transverse.
Yep.
Yep.
And you cannot cut any metal for it, and it has to come with a manual transmission.
Okay.
Or it has to have a commercially available kit available.
yes.
Is there a budget for this proposition?
No, but I mean that's also that's kind of why
But
I
I mean-
said you wouldn't want to go with the original engine because it's like
Okay.
just so.
And
expensive.
again, that's why we limit it. I mean, it has to be an existing manual transaxle or something that is commercially available
Yeah.
to adapt an engine to a known
Well,
transaxle.
The obvious choice, if budget was no issue, is the Mirror V12, but that probably wouldn't fit.
Won't fit.
Well,
okay.
that's
And
a
that-
longitudinal engine anyway.
No,
Oh no, it's not. You're right. It's transverse.
like the
yeah.
only
in
transverse
the
V12
mirror,
out there.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
You're right.
transverse.
In that case, there's two other options I think would be.
We should probably stipulate you're limited to a total of 4 cylinders in a direction. So I mean, you're limited to basically the length of
You
a
could get a
four-cylinder or a V8.
6 in there.
You could get a
but it'd be
VR6 in there, I
it'd be
suppose,
sketchy.
but it's not a big bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The QV is a pretty small engine.
In that case, okay, the purest answer would be the Busso V6 out of the old Alfa Romeo GT V6s.
That would
That's
actually
a
be really
very good
awesome.
answer. Nobody said
Or the,
that.
not
yet.
not sorry, not the GT V6 because that was longitudinal in that application. It was the Milano, I think.
Yes.
that it
Yeah.
was.
I know the engine.
And like the
is.
156 and the 159 had the 3.2, the later one.
They sound so good, and they're pretty engines too.
Yeah. And they're actually pretty reliable.
Actually,
Yeah, they're not bad. They're probably better than the Ferrari engine.
the
in terms
Milano
of
definitely.
in terms of power
The
reliability.
Milano was longitudinal, but
Okay. In there's some cases.
is
I
it the
know that engine-
157 or something?
Something like that.
I know
Yeah.
what engine.
Yeah,
but
I know it was
the
longitudinal
Alfa Romeo
something.
It was
V6,
transversing
yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. So.
The 90s GTV was front wheel drive, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
So that one.
Yeah,
That'd
that
be
one.
one.
You could
Yeah,
get it out of a
perfect.
GTV or a 159 would be the later one with like the variable valve timing and stuff.
That's the one I was thinking of, the 159.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the backup choice would be the 5-cylinder Audi, or not Audi. Well, that'd be a good one too. But the Volvo V70 S60R
long.
engine, is it?
yeah, it's
Okay.
Volvo-
That one was.
Volvo
on,
does magic fitting 5 and 6 cylinder transverse engines in their cars, but yeah, it won't fit.
That's
the,
too long,
The
huh?
Ferrari, like the suspension's right next to the engine bay.
Oh,
It's like
sure.
the towers, you can't really move them.
Okay.
So your first answer was one we'll call correct. So
Okay,
yes,
cool. We'll stick with the first one
The
then.
Alpha V6 would be awesome because it would sound very Italian, and if you put it on Megasquirt, it would be reliable. So-
Exactly.
That would
Oh,
actually
shit.
that's a really good answer. Actually, it might be my favorite answer. That's
Cool.
I like
Yeah.
that more than my answer.
All right.
you are officially a unique snowflake, Alex Bellus.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, you now have a topic that I don't even
Yeah,
remotely care about.
Ryan's probably gonna go take a poop or something, but I know you're kind of a watch guy,
I am a watch guy.
and like I like watches, but obviously I don't know anywhere near as much
Yeah.
about them as you. But what are you wearing today?
I've got probably my favorite watch, my Tudor Black Bay.
Show it to the camera if you wouldn't mind.
Ta-da. I don't know if you can see. I can't see what
yes,
the camera sees,
yeah,
but
yes,
is it
you
on
can
there?
see it, yep.
On a nice little NATO strap for
I'm
summer.
the only one privileged to see the video stream.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you could see it at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's
world will see it
it's a
too.
Tudor Black Bay. My wife got it for me on our wedding day.
Damn.
Surprised me with it, so it's pretty special to me. It's a good watch.
I guess I shouldn't say that I don't care about watches. I mean, I would if I had the money.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
am
there's
wearing
a lot of-
a Series 3 stainless steel
Ooh, look
LTE
at
Apple
that.
Watch with a genuine Milanese. I have other non-electronic watches, but I haven't worn any of them since I bought
Well,
them.
my thing
Okay.
is more
I
that,
get that.
I've got
I
more.
really like them, but
I really like Gaudy's like 80s aesthetic.
you would love my. Oh, jeez. I've got a Burberry that's
Oh, dude,
gold and white gold.
I got this beautiful Gruen that my grandpa
Oh, that's
gave
cool.
me.
Those are cool.
That he got in like 1984, 85.
See, you do like watches.
So I guess I do. It's just that I don't have money to actively invest in them.
I
The only
understand
the only
that.
one I'm even considering buying would be like a gold Casio digital calculator
See,
watch.
this
If-
is one of
if
those
you-
topics. Watches
Yeah.
are like Nick was telling me earlier. It's like you've graduated from like regular stuff and you become. You have to find something to waste money on, like
Yes.
airplanes or something.
It's
Yeah.
up there with
Yes.
airplanes.
I find myself in that situation a lot. I have very expensive tastes, which does
Yeah.
not work with my lifestyle because I don't make a lot of money.
See, that's on
same.
lowbrow.
That's why I had to figure out how to do
So-
an engine out on a Ferrari 350.
There you go. Yeah, you get it.
See, I'm sitting over here. I'm like, yeah, nicest car I've ever owned, Toyota Cresta. It's got power seats and a working AC.
That's
I
beautiful.
love it.
And it currently
great.
has a broken engine.
And a broken
Aw.
engine. Don't worry, I'm putting the engine in this weekend.
I will say this: if there's anyone listening who's looking to get into watches and they've got a relatively modest budget, let's
That's
say
a good question, actually.
Yeah.
How do you?
let's say like 150, 200 bucks,
I would
something
go
like
with the
that.
Skagen.
I would say look at the Seiko XKX
Seiko makes good
007 because it's a reliable workforce.
That's
it's a good dive watch.
such a
looks
generic
classic.
name.
Probably has a Japanese movement. in
You
it.
You can find them on.
XKS.
You can find them on. It's the SKX 007.
So Samuel Kennedy X-ray.
Sure.
Okay. SKX.
You can find them on Amazon for 160, 200 bucks, somewhere around there. Super reliable, good dive watch. Looks good, classic looks. I don't know.
I was going to try to pull up a picture, but
It's an automatic movement. So
oh,
yeah, so you don't have to worry about batteries.
well, you do if you're a lethargic person like Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get up and walk around
Or
from time
Kent.
to time, or you wear it every day, it's all good.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't move that much, so
Fair
I've
enough.
had a couple automatics, and like the Swatch I had was really good at maintaining wind or
Yeah.
energy or whatever.
Yeah.
But like my Citizen was horrible.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, battery-powered or quartz watches basically are much more reliable from a timekeeping standpoint, but automatic ones are just, or automatic or manual one, basically mechanical watches are super cool. Cause
I like any watch that I can. There aren't that many that have a front translucent face to see the movement. Like
Sure.
a lot of automatics have a translucent
the,
back.
the front side of the movement usually isn't too interesting anyway. It's just a plate of metal usually.
then
The back
flip it
side's the
around.
interesting part. Yeah, exactly.
There are some watches that
Collecting watches is the highest form of middle upper class white male nerdery. I just noticed that.
I kind of agree with you. Like, you can be a watch enthusiast. It's like being like a weekend audiophile. Like, you can get
Yeah,
like
that's true.
really good stuff that's pretty reasonably priced, but like if you want like actually good stuff, like you
You're
are
gonna be-
so deep into the deep zone.
For-
Like, you're spending 10, 20, 30, 40, 100
Hundreds
grand
of-
on a watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that
just
stuff gets
insane.
crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. It's like it tells you what
It's
time it is.
for me. I like collecting watches, and I don't have a big collection anymore. I sold a lot of it to buy my wife a vintage Rolex a couple of years ago.
Dang.
Oh, your wife's into watches too.
Ooh.
She is now.
Oh,
Weird.
Oh.
Weird how that
I
works.
know she's just taking all my hobbies, or I'm
So you can
giving
even
them
bring
to her.
Molly. What gives?
She was at brunch.
That's fair.
Saturday brunch action.
MotorCult is not as important. as
jazz
brunch.
brunch
Wow.
is clearly more important than MotorCult.
I guess we'll have to have her on independently.
She could carry a show.
I know she could.
There's actually there is a guy that's on my Japanese
Hmm.
nostalgia car Facebook page.
Oh my god,
Who-
guys!
Oh,
Look
there
at
it
the
is. Yeah.
television.
There it is.
It
Hey,
finally
it
came up.
finally
That's-
came up.
That's the one.
That's a perfectly reasonable looking
$200
watch.
bucks.
Looks like a watch. Acts like a watch. It's good.
Yeah.
So there's
Then it's probably a watch.
there's a guy on my Japanese nostalgia car Facebook page. They did just like kind of unite like local classic Japanese car people, and he actually has like I guess it's either a custom made or like a super limited edition one where the faceplate of his watch matches the tachometer on his
yeah.
FB RX-7 GSL SE.
You talking about Shane?
Yeah, Shane. Yeah,
Yeah, I did that watch
Super
face
cool.
for him.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
no way. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really cool watch face.
And then the other cool thing is, I mean, people will take old pocket watches and
Oh, I figured it out. It's Alex.
Oh,
Bellus.
you're brushing the
It's
spring.
you.
That's what
it
it
was.
was.
All
my laptop.
you.
I'm still thinking
It
it was
wasn't
partially.
me.
It was partially Ryan.
Your laptop was brushing
Yep.
both of your microphones. Ryan just
Oh my
emotes.
God.
He's like Richard Nixon. Like, he moves around that much. That's why video is great.
You're like
I
Ricky Bobby.
do.
You don't know what to do with your hands.
We're gonna start prancercising pretty soon. So
Yeah, but you can get old pocket watch movements and get like modern watch
nice.
cases to put them in. Now,
Really?
which is kind of cool. So,
I've got my
do your own Frankenstein
maternal
watch.
grandfather's like World War II. Damn it, pocket watch in the basement, and like it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
and it's a wind-up movement. I'm like, I am not wearing a freaking pocket watch.
Yeah, I've
So,
got
like,
a.
it'd be really cool to get that.
I got a cool
transition.
hand-me-down from my father-in-law. From it's an old pocket watch from like the early 1900s.
Is it from the Goodwill?
It's not. I don't
Oh.
think so. I think it's from his dad or his grandpa.
I think we
Did we
killed.
kill Ryan?
I think we killed Ryan.
What's he doing?
I don't know. I
Is
think
that
he's.
better
I'm
airflow there?
dying of boredom.
Yeah.
It is actually a little bit
Oh
cooler
my
there.
god.
All right, sorry.
That's
guys.
only 92 degrees.
Yeah.
It's
Holy-
either
Were you bored 'cause we're talking
boredom
about
or it's
watches?
either boredom or heat stroke. It's one of the two.
We can find another topic to nerd out about too.
Well, I mean, Nick just
You-
showed me on his laptop. It looks like a Nissan Cross Cab mixed with a Leaf.
No,
that's cool.
oh god,
Yeah, they're doing
no.
a Leaf convertible in 2019.
Oh,
That's actually okay with that. I'm okay with that.
what I
would-
want
would
is a
buy
Fiat
that.
124e.
I want a Nissan Cross Cabrio because I hate it.
Me too. I think
Yeah.
everyone like. I want a 6-speed like supercharged VQ37 Cross Cab
Oh,
or
You
a
know,
GTR swap.
the-
code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Nissan Cross Cabriolet. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say Cross Cab.
Okay.
That's way easier.
We could call it
That
like
to you is
an
like the
XC
Porsche
for, like-
924 to me because it's one of those
Oh.
cars that just disgust me so much. Like I kind of want it
I
like
have
in a
first-hand
dirty way.
experience with a 924.
I told you, I almost got you to buy a 924 for Polar Run so he could put.
Oh
The
my
or no,
guy
it
was so
Clunker
sad
Cruise.
when I told him I had to back out from the sale because I couldn't get enough funds together to do the Lemons Rally this year.
Damn it.
He
You know
was
what'd be a
so
great Polar
sad.
Run car, by the way?
What?
Miata.
Miata's the answer for most things.
Yeah, no. What we were gonna do is we were gonna run a 924 and then put a non-turbo Volkswagen 1.6
I was gonna put a
diesel into
1.6
it.
IDI in it because then Lemons will give you points for German
Cool.
and diesel and pre-1980.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
you get-
there was
don't
some
hate
thought
that
going
idea.
into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my boss has like an absolutely mint 78 924 that I'm
Oh
sure I
my.
could get out of him for like nothing.
Yeah,
But
they're-
then I found like a pair of pretty decent shells with titles on Craigslist for $1,000.
There you go.
I was like, well, I would do that then because at least it's a car nobody cares about.
Right.
And everyone on the forum's like, why don't you just run a 1.8T? I'm like, you are missing the point. missing the point. And then I
Yeah.
realized TDIs were the same price as the
Yeah.
1.6s, and
Yeah.
it just didn't happen this year. I'd like to still do it. I think
I
it'd
think
be
you should.
interesting.
Yeah, it would definitely be interesting.
So-
But
they're fun
924
cars.
is, I mean, yeah, they're
They handle well. I mean,
They do
don't
handle
have-
well.
That's about all they do.
But see, this is the thing.
Yeah.
I've driven a 924 and a 944 back to back on test drives
Yeah.
at work, trying to work out bugs with their fuel systems, of course. But I've noticed that the 924 and the 944, there's no reason ever to buy a 924 because the best 924 in the world,
What do you mean secondhand?
like, will not hold a candle to the 944. No, because
it won't.
No,
But the turbos are cool.
I mean, they are, but
yeah.
I mean, like, at the same time, like, I would rather just have, like, the raw in color 944 non-turbo than a turbocharged 924.
Yeah, because I mean, at least you get the fender flares with the 944s.
Well, not,
Yeah.
then it's actually more interior, I noticed. The interior is so much better than the 944.
It depends on, like, the early 944s have really shitty interiors.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
the one I drove was at 85.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
know,
that
is it
was 85 and a half is when they
Is
got
it
the nicer
85
interior.
The
944?
78 924 I'm in routinely actually has a pretty nice interior.
It's just really blocky. Like, I mean,
Oh.
later they get swoopy.
Yeah, they
Just kinda
don't
close.
age well.
I mean, yeah, it's not nearly as good as like the late 80s interior, but I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that's kind of thing. Early '80s, like as much as I like the concept of early '80s cars, I've noticed that mid and late '80s was like that's when like with any era, like mid and late '50s cars were the best '50s cars, and mid and late '20s
Weird.
cars
The most
were
modern of every type of car is the best type of that.
not necessarily. I'm trying to think of something. Okay, I guess you're right.
Yeah,
Wow,
Hold on.
unless there's
Oh,
a styling
no,
thing that
no,
had to
Early
no.
2000s.
early '70s
What
were
about
better
the
than the
early
late
2000s?
'70s.
Early
that's
2000s
true.
cars were better than late 2000s cars.
Yes, same thing with the 1970s.
Oh, I just don't agree.
Really?
You
You
really
had the E39 M5. You had the Z3
I
M.
prefer the E60 M5 6-speed to the E39
One
M5.
second. Are you telling me that a round taillight 2002 is worse
Oh.
than a
All
E21?
right, that might be a checkmate there. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because they were trapped by the 74 crash bumper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, for
And
the,
the same
for
thing
the
with
most part, though,
Blubsky.
if left on their own devices, I
Yeah.
think cars will just that body style will progress to be better.
I found it like, and anytime you get a car, like even a fundamental chassis that's made for 10 or more years, like that thing is so good by the time it actually exits its life cycle.
You gotta wonder if the engineers are going into that project knowing that it's going to have a really long run cycle, so they spend the extra time to make it right
Right.
the first time because they
I
know it
think
has
so.
to hold up for the test of time.
I think so.
Right. And
'Cause-
I think a lot of stuff is engineered that well, even if they don't go into it thinking that these days. But I mean, they maybe, operating under
Yeah.
the assumption like, well, everything's going to get facelifted and changed in like 4 years anyway.
Well,
And we
the
got to
thing is,
run
that's-
petroleum jelly in it for oil now because emissions, whatever.
You don't want to use, or you don't want a car to be a rusted out, sack of shit in a junkyard while it's still being produced.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
Like,
you're.
So it has to last at least 5-6 years.
Yeah, at least 5-6 years. But I mean, like, if for some
Right.
cars, like, if they might have it continuously go on forever, like, they want to be more reliable.
Yeah.
Like the what generation is Blubsky? It's a W.
It's a W115 because it's a
115, yeah.
4-cylinder car.
The
The
115s.
114s are the
114s. Those ones. Yeah.
Now it's a
so
V8 car.
those ones
Yeah.
like were designed to last a long time.
Yeah, I mean that car ran 68 to 76.
Yeah.
So I mean that's not actually that long a life cycle if you think about it. But,
But
It feels long.
by comparison, like a Mark III Golf, like
right.
those were they disappeared from the face of the earth
And
within
honestly,
8 years of being made.
My car, the Mercedes, is a last year of that body style. It's a 76.
Nice.
And like the exterior, oh yeah, she got beat pretty hard by the DOT, but like
Yeah.
it's all reversible, and the interior is so much better screwed together and just tons better. It's like all the important stuff like the steering wheel from the 60s, you can still get that. You can still
Yeah.
get the small bumpers.
Oh, that's cool.
You can still somehow shoehorn a late model
But
V8
it's
into it.
it's the squeaky little panels and stuff that got
Yeah,
better.
well, I mean, it's just like the early cars like quarter light tilt out windows, which are cool, but like the later cars just had air conditioning instead, and just like things like that. And
that is actually better.
yeah, it is.
So like, all right, well, back to the 924
Yeah.
and stuff. You
Sorry, we go
said
on
you
tangents
said
a
you
lot.
said
It's
used.
okay. I like that.
the 924 doesn't make sense.
Right.
But I'd say even new.
No, it was
even-
a lot cheaper, not just to
Well,
purchase, but to insure.
Well, no, all right. So the thing is, so let's say that
service.
the 924 Carrera GT was the most desirable of the 924s. We
Yeah, I
can
don't
all
dispute
agree
that.
on that.
You should do a little background around the different models because it gets confusing.
That's true, but you know the one I'm thinking of, the wide-bodied one.
Yeah, it had like
At- at
944
that-
They were
flares
at
on
that
it.
point-
300 horsepower, race at
Yeah.
Le Mans.
But at,
Yeah.
at that point, just go buy yourself a Mitsubishi Starion and be done with it, because the Starion's gonna be more reliable and
But
better put together.
but
and
it's
cheaper.
not it's not a Porsche.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
cool,
show
but I
people the
mean,
key.
but the thing is a Porsche Macan a Porsche, or is that just a
I believe it is.
Q5?
Yes.
Is that really just a Q5 with the Porsche logo stuck
Well,
on it?
technically, the Macan only shares the engine block. Well, the base Macan shares the engine block and the rear calipers with a Q5. Everything else is unique
Okay.
somehow,
Yeah.
but it's a Q5.
Yeah, it. If you see it from 100 yards off, you think it's either a Q5 or a Macan.
I just think it's dumb because there's no
Yeah.
manual option.
So that's
No.
kind of what I'm thinking. It's one of those cars where it says Porsche on it, but it doesn't really like
Well,
it's not like a special car.
But
Like,
So
a
that
nine-
and the 944 were both built at the Audi plant,
but the 944 just
But-
did
Yeah.
it so much better, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like,
but it was an evolution of the 924.
that's true. They took
it
what the
was-
924 started and made
Yeah.
it right.
I mean, the 944 was later. It was made with like Porsche design parts. The 924 was an Audi engine. Had
It was
an Audi
it was supposed to be a
transaxle,
Volkswagen.
had-
Yeah.
Yeah.
just like the 914.
Right.
You know, and
absolutely.
I'm
Right,
not
that's
gonna
a
lie,
good car.
the 914 is a great car, but I think actually if the 924 did say Volkswagen on it, that'd be a great car. If it had said Volkswagen.
Yeah, but it's better because it says Porsche on it.
Yeah.
Unless you like take off any of the parts.
Do you
and then
want
look
do you
at
want the best
badges on the
Volkswagen?
backside?
Do you want the best Volkswagen or the worst Porsche? I will take the best Volkswagen. It's like slow car.
Honestly, I've only driven a few cars from the 70s, thank God. But like the 924, like it's really slow because it's
Yeah.
an early 2-liter car.
Yeah.
Ludicrously slow. Yeah.
But like the brake feels pretty good. The steering's great. Like the cockpit is.
I will
really
say
modern for 78.
I do really like the steering.
There's still
That's
like that
really
Porsche DNA in there. Like there's certain things that Porsche really can't get wrong, and it's
Right.
stuff like exactly, steering feel, brakes.
And I mean,
I will say actually for the era for 1977 that interior is amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But for
the car
1980
is so ahead of its time. For
By
1984.
1984 though.
No, I get it was a little long in the
well,
teeth.
but that's why the 944 came out. when it
That
did.
that is true. But they
Right.
were sold side by side.
Just
for a
but
time.
it was the 924S that was sold side by side with
Oh,
the
okay.
944.
I've not been in a
And that had-
924S,
and that had the same engine as the 944. Believe it or not.
but no lighter chassis,
Exactly.
which I would like to try that because that might change my outlook on the 924.
There you go.
Yeah.
The 924 is not a bad car, but I mean, it is like if you're shopping for a used 944 or 924, they're the same price.
They are.
A lot of the
yeah,
TAs. So like,
there's no point.
why would you go with a 924?
Because you can't find the 944 you want.
Right. And that's
But-
pretty much, or you have like memories early on with the
Yeah.
924.
So the thing is,
Or because you really want to look like you're driving an RX-7.
yeah, but don't actually want an RX-7.
I really don't like the rotary engine there.
So well, I guess it's kind of like that. This whole thing we talked about a few weeks ago. We were talking about, is it better to have the worst of a good car or the best of a not good car?
But
But see, that's the
Ooh.
thing. That's the thing. At
Good
that point,
bones.
there's so much
Yeah.
overlap on that one. Like that's not like saying.
I know that's something. I mean, we love to generalize. It's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
But like that, we really can't.
Well, it's like saying, well, would you rather have?
I typically prefer
The-
base models.
Would you rather have like the world's worst Z32 300ZX, or would you rather have the world's best 280ZX? Like
Are
I'll
you
take
talking,
the 280.
Are you talking in terms of condition or in terms of like
Just
or
own
we
it.
say,
Which
okay.
one would you rather have?
that's-
Would you rather have the car that everybody
doesn't
knows is
follow.
cool, but you have the worst one?
It's like a $500 Z32 versus like a 10 grand Z31.
That's I mean, they'd be in the same price range. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Like something that's
if
like,
you're talking, like, say you're taking a $3,000 example for each,
yeah.
I would definitely take a Z32.
I'd take the 280ZX because the 280ZX.
I know,
well,
Ryan's, because you look like that car.
No, I would take that. The
Good
reason
observation.
being is because that's the one where you're gonna have shit like my power windows still work, my AC
Well,
still works,
I
my
grant that.
car's not Alfa Romeo. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to come at your life like that.
It's all right. It's okay.
But yeah, so that all right.
we
so,
ban guns on these premises? No.
but yeah, no.
We don't do that.
I acknowledge that I have an Alfa Romeo. That's okay.
At the end of the day, I would like a 924 for very little money though.
Sure.
Like
That-
under
I think those are
$2,000, I
still
would
for
probably
sale
take one.
on Craigslist.
Oh, if you look at their sales on Brand Trailer,
Yeah.
like the best one in the world is like $8,000.
I sold
And
my
the
boss's
worst
car and
one
bring
is
a
like
trailer.
$8,000.
I know I'll probably get the stink eye
$6,700.
from everyone here except Nick. However, 924 with an LS swap.
No, that's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
That's a car where I wouldn't be.
I told my boss I,
wouldn't
want to
hate
LS
it.
swap his car.
I would.
LS swap all the things.
Yeah.
No,
But you
I
can
don't
deal
like
with the
LS swapping,
transaxle
but
and-
that's a car where I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
well, I mean, the thing is, they make like bolt-on plates to like put them up to 944 stuff, but then
Mhm.
you have to like deal with you have to swap
944
so
stuff.
much of the rear end. Like, you got
Well-
to swap transaxles, you got to swap axles, probably have to convert it to 5-lug.
You also have to
Just a
deal
bunch of
with
stuff.
the 944 timing belts and balance shaft belts and water pumps and stuff.
No.
Which
That's a,
Not if you put an LS in it.
oh yes, if you
Yeah.
do LS,
Yeah.
yes, that'll be fine.
Yeah,
Well,
that's all.
I don't know. How much horsepower? The 924 made like 100 horsepower, right?
Yeah.
115, something like that.
The one I drove was
would be a-
way slower than a gas Fiat 500.
That would be
which
a
is 100.
great car for a GE swap.
That's true. That would work.
That'd be a
I'll one
great
up
car.
you. An F20 or K24. A K24 and a 924 would be amazing.
Yeah, that's true. I just was thinking about another car other than the A86. That's actually, I think,
I don't know if you guys heard that, but we got a badass outside.
apparently, I think a 4A GE and a 924 might be cheaper than actually buying an A86. At
Yeah,
least it is.
that's-
Yes, but
very
getting
much
it
so.
installed.
No, getting all that installed, I think, would cost less than a reasonable
Yeah, I
A86.
saw Drew listed his A86 for sale with the F20 swap. God,
Oh
that's a cool
Jesus!
car.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, no, those cars go for insane amounts of money.
He's asking like 11 grand, which seems kind of reasonable in the context of having an F20 swap.
Yeah.
in it.
Well, that's actually just very reasonable for
Yeah.
rust-free
If it's
A86.
yeah, if it's done up, all right.
Looked nice.
I mean,
don't know.
AE86s are expensive. F20s are expensive.
God, dude.
Everything's expensive
I-
these days.
Nah.
I would love to have
Not
an
cat
A86.
food.
I just can't. I can't justify that much money for an A86
That's fair.
because it's like I could just buy E70 and have like.
Oh, badass is back.
Oh my God, he's just idling around.
That's fun.
But I would like to have an A86, but I could just buy an E70 or an MR2 or just any other
MR2s are
Toyota.
spendy now too, though.
Yeah, we can still find them for like $2,000.
Really?
Yeah, you
All
can.
right.
You're gonna be doing some work,
Sure.
but you can find them for $2,000.
Yeah, you can.
I'm
Yeah.
lazy. I want stuff turnkey.
Oh
That's
yeah,
fine.
you'll be spending
Kinda
$10,000.
at that point too, but I can't afford turnkey.
E70
stuff,
then,
so-
and then you're looking at the E70 Corolla.
We
All
got
right.
lucky with the Baja bug.
That's I mean, it's an air-cooled Volkswagen. They're pretty simple. Like even if
Yeah, the
something
guy.
breaks-
can
But the guy we
still-
got it from restored it for his 16 and 18-year-old daughters to drive.
That sounds like
they
a
wa-
great idea.
And then they, yeah, well, and then they wanted their mom's Jeep.
We want an air conditioner.
God, how
and
do
we
you
want
fuck
a
up racing
trail radar.
daughters that hard? God, he should be ashamed of himself.
He's got a rally fighter. He's got nothing to be ashamed
Oh,
of.
that guy. Okay.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess not.
Next
That's a
topic.
cool car.
Okay, sorry.
Anyway,
All right, I want to talk about a Model
speaking of
Uh-oh.
Destroyed.
cars
He's just
that
trying to go to the
are
next
that
topic.
father.
A. I was just
Child,
jerking you guys
son.
back on a topic.
Thank
Yes, thank you.
Violently jerking.
you. Love it.
So over this last week, there was it actually went viral. I mean, I saw this a whole bunch
I
of
saw
different
it on
places.
Facebook, actually, yeah.
Yep. But a Model A was street parked and completely railed by a Honda Civic by somebody who's texting and driving.
That's not good.
And oh man, the photos and like
R.I.P.
reading through this guy's testimonial. I'm trying to put this up on the TV, but I don't think it's responding well enough.
Well, while you're doing that, that's one of those things. The Model A is 1 second. We gotta mash that real hard. But
Oh, yeah.
the Model A is like the closest thing to a pre-war car I can't care about. But the thing is that I identify with this guy, where just restoring a car and then having it taken away from you would be a nightmare. I think any car
Right.
enthusiast
Totally.
could do that. Especially his particular story. I think he built it with his father, right? And it was like
Yeah,
That's
it was a
the link is
hand-me-down.
in the
yeah, it was
in the Google Drive.
it was
but
a hand-me-down. Built it with his father. His father drove it through college.
it had been in the family for 45 years.
Yeah,
Oh,
they've been
no,
they've
that
been
sucks.
rebuilding it for the last 15 years or something, and they.
Oh, it was a
Oh my
Corolla.
God, this guy!
Oh, the badass
There's a reason that Motorplex is a gun-free premise.
Well,
It's for people like that.
premise.
Premises.
premises.
Yeah,
Premises.
I can't get the TV to go, guys. But anyway, yeah, just picture a Model A that got clipped real hard on the street in the left rear corner, and there's
It-
a Corolla sitting right next to
It'd
it.
probably just shatter the wood wheels, right? Because they had wood wheels back.
It,
then.
no, it
It's a
shattered
metal
all
wire.
four.
Okay.
It shattered all four wires.
But it
so-
wasn't. Yeah, it didn't fare well. I mean, the
That sucks.
axle. I mean, it was like pinched right into the axle. Shoved up into the body. The trunk's gone.
that
The
sucks.
body's
So,
screwed.
basically everything's
Totally
broken.
repairable, but
Well, every component's broken, but they're mostly repairable.
I mean, the Corolla looks like almost nothing happened to it, so I don't think the hit was actually that hard. I think this car is just a really light, old piece of junk.
Goes to show you that Model A's are incredibly fragile.
The good news is
they're
that
probably like 1,500 pounds, so I have no idea.
I'd be pushing it, I think. But the good news is that the lady that did that
is in
went to
jail
jail
now?
Yes,
Good.
Wow.
she ran away.
Car jail.
Oh,
Yeah.
real? How? The car is sitting there right
Hold on.
next to it.
She tried to back up, and the guy got in the way.
Oh.
And she got out of the car and ran on foot.
Oh my God.
Here's
So-
a question.
Yeah.
What's worse, going to jail or daily driving a Corolla?
What kind
I
of Corolla?
would be
The
okay.
one
daily
the one
driving.
that she crashed into.
Like
If she had-
a not
Like a
well maintained
like a-
2003 Corolla.
Yeah.
Is it an XRS?
No.
Oh.
It's a base model.
Is it a 5-speed?
No.
Is it automatic?
Automatic base model. Corolla 2003 to 2006
I
or
don't know.
something.
That-
I'd
that-
have
that-
to ask
that-
Aaron
I'd
about
almost
that
rather
jail.
I would
jail.
I would honestly be okay with that.
Yeah.
Car.
And what kind of jail are we talking? Like minimum security?
Yeah, definitely low key jail, not like
How long?
Stab.
Am I in jail
Pound
for?
me in the ass prison.
six let's say 6 months.
better
I
get
don't
If
know.
we were talking like a 2013...
Do I get to keep my job when I come back from prison?
Sure.
I might take prison.
All right, I would say if it was a 2013 Corolla, I'll take prison.
As long as I can make somebody my
Alright.
bitch.
Ooh, there you go.
2003 one. I've seen enough 2003s done
If you're daily driving a Corolla, you're probably not in the position to make someone your bitch.
No. See,
But-
I'm not daily
that's true,
driving a
that's true.
Corolla.
Fair enough.
Daily driving a sweet V12
Yeah.
BMW or Ferrari or something.
There you go.
You have to specify that
Alright.
exact Corolla and
Hold on.
trim level.
What about so yeah, that's really tragic. What about the guy that traded in his pristine
God,
like,
that
65
Mustang.
for an S5?
That guy
Fucking
should be
idiot.
shot.
That wasn't even an
Or-
S5, it was an A5.
As an
Oh.
A5. An
Oh, so his
A5.
wife could drive it, I think, right? Man.
Get a
there-
new wife.
We
Well,
look
or
up
teach her to
the
ride a
definition
stick like
for
I did.
whipped in the dictionary.
Yeah.
That picture is going to show up.
Yeah.
If you look at the
Whipped.
definition for dumbass, that guy's
I don't even want to talk about that. It fucking
Sorry.
triggers me.
Yeah, no, I'm triggered. That guy
Ryan,
should be
move on.
ashamed.
Next
that guy
topic.
should be ashamed of himself.
I'm actually okay with
On
it.
this bombshell, I'm actually gonna bring up a Patreon for once. Yay!
Yay.
All right. So,
oh, the badass is back.
Oh my God, this dude
Sponsored by Lopi Idols.
sponsored by Lopi Idols.
Patented misfire.
Yeah. Anyway, so compare and contrast how other drivers react to your different types of vehicles, as we've been doing with this gigantic douchebag dad with his stupid Harley Davidson, which is
sure he's
probably
really
a
nice.
dresser,
Yeah.
and it's probably from about 2008, and he's probably really hyped about it, and nobody cares
Good for
because he's
him,
just a
though.
douche.
Let him be excited.
Anyway,
We don't know. We're not
No.
a participation trophy type of
Fair
show
enough.
there, Alex.
Fair enough.
No,
Fair
no,
enough.
we don't. No. For example, commuting at the same time of day, but driving a counterbox, van, sedan. Like, how does your car change how people react to you?
Right, so you're driving down the road in a 2003 automatic, not well-kept Corolla versus driving down the road in a 911R. Like, how are perceptions different? How do people react differently around you while you're driving? Like, even your Baja Bug. Like, I bet you people drive differently around you on the road when you're driving that versus the 4Runner.
I drive differently,
Oh.
but that's different. I don't know. I don't think people don't really. I'm surprised more people don't react to the Baja Bug. Like kids will like claw at the windows to get a better look at
Well,
parents.
it's because
adults.
they're probably being molested or something.
Yeah. Well, grown adults don't
Should
generally
call
care
Child
unless they're
Protective
also
Service.
driving.
I mean, they're probably...
Yeah.
So-
unless they're also driving an enthusiast car, they don't
I
generally
gotcha.
care.
A better example, I would say, actually, I do have an example. of
911R
this.
would just blend into traffic. Corolla totally blends into traffic.
But, like, when
If you want to stand out in traffic, drive a retired cop car. That's the only car you're going to get where you'll see people making drastic
No,
changes in
See,
how
that's
they're
not
driving.
true. It's
You
like
don't
I
think
borrowed
so?
my brother's Honda Element,
Okay.
and like you could be doing like 30 over in the middle lane,
Yeah.
or not even 30 over in the left lane, like passing people, and people will come up behind you like you're sitting still, wanting to pass you.
It just looks like a
They're
slow
being
car.
pissed off. Like they're just
get
assuming
that.
that you're doing 5 over,
Yeah.
because you're in a Honda Element.
Which is great because you'll always sneak under the radar with cops and stuff.
Which
too.
is great, yeah, but it's annoying
But you're
because like
still
these
driving a
people
Honda
like
Element.
clearly have no idea how fast they're going.
Right.
Because
No, that's
I know
totally
very
fine.
well.
All right,
But
so
I'm
the
faster
thing is,
than that Honda Element.
I can do 5 over.
I get that.
yeah, but you
There's a
can
Ferrari
that
and
basically
nobody
gives
bats an eye.
that gives you a pass to drive as fast as you want because there's always some asshole going faster that's going
and
to take
that can
the
be
cop
part
bait.
of this too. I mean, the cars that fly under the radar. I mean,
Oh,
like the
my
Honda
Mazda 5.
Element, for sure. Yeah, that too.
Oh my god, I told a story last time about going 70 in a 70 or something in a 50, blew past a cop and the cop pulled over the M3 next to me.
I blew by a cop a couple weeks ago.
Allegedly.
on 35W. I was going 75 and a 55.
In
there's a huge,
Mexico.
Allegedly.
In Mexico. Yeah,
I
in
don't
Mexico.
care.
Oh, okay.
The cop, he had his radar gun out. He could have pulled me over. He just smiled and waved, and I kept going. I didn't slow
Which
down a
car
bit.
was this in?
Baja Bug.
Yeah, see, exactly. People are just happy to see it.
He's probably like,
That
God
makes-
damn, that thing could do 75.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
know.
right.
No, he's like, either it was too easy, or he just thought it was cool.
you want-
and
you want-
didn't think I was actually going that fast.
That he knew if he took that to court, there's a very high likelihood that it would not stand. He would just waste his afternoon.
No.
Probably.
See, cops can know that, and they'll still fuck with you.
Yeah,
That's
they
true.
will.
That is true. Yeah, you're an example of that.
Yeah, I'm a poster child for that.
Yeah, but you're also like the poster child for entitlement.
Yeah. I'm the guy who drove 600 miles to fight a 14 over speeding ticket
Oh
in
my
Cook
God.
County.
Oh yeah, no, he's that kind of guy.
Pull around.
Anyway,
I
I was the only one that got a ticket that year.
wonder why.
Probably because a
another-
certain Mustang got called in, and I fit the same
Oh my
description
gosh.
in my two-door black car.
Yeah.
Anyway, so another example is Jana's van, which looks like
Oh, God, yeah.
identical to the sort of van a freshly immigrated family would have if they came from a third world country. And when I drive that van, regardless of however I'm driving, everybody acts like they're freaked out. Like everybody's super nervous and twitchy around that van because they expect me to just merge into them and do whatever I
right.
want.
Sure.
They look over, and there's no cell phone tucked into a burqa, and then they feel better.
Yeah, exactly. My Cressida is totally invisible, but my Honda Civic, every time I'd ever drive that,
Oh,
or my
here we go.
CRX for that matter, I'd always get the middle finger from everybody.
Weird.
Regardless of how I'm driving. I'll be driving very nice, and people just give me the middle finger.
So there's a couple points in here. So we've covered like a lot of this just organically, but there's like sub points, and it's like Econobox, van, sports sedan, sports car, extremely rare car, dirty versus clean car,
Ooh.
and then
Well,
also colors.
Dirty
Yeah,
versus
like
clean,
exhausts.
you can do whatever you want if your car's dirty because
Yeah.
people are going to get out of your way because you don't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that or
Which is why I haven't washed my 4Runner in 2 years.
it also depends on what kind
It's
of
like
car,
the
though.
Fiat.
Yeah.
Because when I'm driving my Cressida, and it's dirty. Nobody, not even a car enthusiast, cares because I look like I'm just some hipster that has a kind of a cool old car, and I don't care about it. But if I have my car nice and clean, like I will notice the occasional person in like a Supra or MR2, like turn their head, and like actually like I will notice the occasional
Dude,
enthusiast.
when I first saw that car, because you hadn't told me you bought it, probably for good reasons, it's not automatic, but I found you on 94.
and you're just like,
in my gray
what?
Fiat. I'm like, that's a really nice Cressida. And I just like shit canned it to catch up to. I'm like, didn't I send you a picture of the car? And you're like, yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, whoops.
And then I caught up to you in your Fiat, and I
yeah.
blew past you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, probably. The Fiat wasn't very fast.
That was not too far before the engine let go.
I'm shocked. Maybe those are related.
I believe that they are related. And, well, I drove that car at 10 tenths all the time. It's shocking they even lasted
As you do.
the 3 months that did.
Doing it as you do. Who should come up behind us but Donald
So
Duck?
I guess a good example would be also an extremely rare car.
Yeah, that
Not
one
not
is-
just a rare car, but he says extremely rare.
Well, but the thing is,
what
normies
qualifies-
are the people that are going to care, and normies don't give a shit about cars, and they
No.
also don't know what's rare and what isn't.
Right.
So,
They
but
have no idea.
Is he talking exotic?
well, he said extremely rare. So
yeah, it doesn't matter.
something
My brother.
his brother.
Okay.
He's the one that gives us most of the Patreon topics. Nick
nice.
is also a Patreon, and we want
So-
to do one
Nick.
of his topics.
So a rare
you, by the way,
a
Nick.
rare
No
car would be something like a Testarossa. That's a rare car. 'Cause
That's
there aren't a
also
lot
an
of-
exotic, and the normies are just going on the.
So something.
Exotic.
Okay, you want to talk? What about a V70R? Those are rare.
I
they
love
imported
those.
Oh my
4100
God, I know.
into the
I've been
US.
trying to
And a
find one
lot
for my
fewer of them are
father.
manuals.
Exactly.
Or a IS300 sport wagon.
Via Cross.
I will own one
Yes,
of those.
a
at some
Via
point.
Cross.
Yeah, I
Yes,
was-
another good example. I
was
was
looking
actually
for one.
thinking my final car
Go
that
ahead, Z's on
I've
it.
not spoken of ever on this podcast. I think my 1986 Subaru GL10.
Of course, you
Um,
have spoken about it. Are you
have I?
fucking high? Yes.
Okay, I forgot I had.
Just did.
That's a car where the only people, it's so rare, the only people that even care about it are not just Subaru enthusiasts, but classic Subaru enthusiasts.
Interesting.
Where a classic Subaru enthusiast will come up to me, like the 3 that are in Minnesota.
But do they act differently around you in it?
They do.
Those people.
Okay,
would.
how so?
Because in the hierarchy of Subarus, the GL10 is like it's like a STIRA
Right.
for modern Subarus. It's a very, very sought after and rare car.
That's a cool car, by the way. The
Yes,
RA.
it is.
Yeah.
But when I have mine, like classic Subaru, I can just say
So,
some nonsense.
Your
and
GL10 has a carbon fiber roof?
no,
I thought
but
you said it was like an RA.
equivalent in rarity.
Oh.
Does it have a big wing in the back?
Big wang.
It does have a wing, actually.
Cool.
It's very small.
Oh, well.
But
Very
it-
smooth.
it's like the Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra like wagon wing, which looks really weird. It's very small. But no, I could just say whatever nonsense I feel like, and people will take it like the word of God. And I know what I'm talking about. Where it just is not true. I can say, yeah, my Subaru GL10, it runs off of factory Mega Squirt, and it actually, behind the 4x140 lug pattern, actually has adapters that go down to 5x100. I don't know why they did that, but it's weird. And people will be like, yes, this is
Well,
the
nobody
thing.
has the hard data to prove you're wrong.
Even old Subaru enthusiasts will be like, yeah, no way, dude. Yeah. And like they'll be like, where can I find that? I'm like, oh, here. And they like legitimately believe it. Like,
I'm kind of like that with E30s, but I also just like tell people what's actually up.
yeah, no, I mean, I can. There are a few times where I've said something where I said it with enough conviction
If I
that I
hate the
didn't have to
person
get in a
enough, I'll definitely
conversation.
go your route, where I'll just be like, yeah, totally, that was on this one year. Like, oh shit, really?
The
Like,
trick is to then go on Wikipedia and change it real quick before they can fact check you.
I have done that.
it's not on Wikipedia.
I have done that. So it wasn't a car. This would be a weird tangent,
Oh
but
my god.
back
Here
in
we
the
go.
day, I used to go to a lot of heavy metal concerts.
No way.
And yeah, I know. Look at me. But it was like around the time I quit going, where I was just like fed up with it because I just realized that all metalheads are actually just hipsters. But they were all
So was there
talking
just like a keg of tapped PBR at metal concerts?
at house concerts, yeah, like at like
Fixies parked outside.
literally.
Oh!
both. Yes,
you
yes
hear-
to
do you
both
hear
actually.
that?
Yes, I do. But yeah, yes to both Fixies and PBR kegs, real things.
it's
I've
Brett.
seen both of
Oh,
those.
is Brett?
Yeah,
No, I don't.
I've seen
now
both
I feel
of those.
I like
at-
Brett.
Bad. I also
metal
like Brett.
shows.
I just wish he wasn't driving an obnoxious motorcycle.
He has a
right
naked
now.
lady airbrush on one of his loud bikes.
Oh my god. Anyway, so that was not about interrupting you. This was about the naked lady airbrush on the extremely loud bike. Anyway, so what I did, everybody's pontificating about their stupid rare metal bands, and I said, "Oh, do you know Dave Matthews used to be in a metal band?" And they're like,
Oh
"No,
my
fuck off." I'm like,
God.
"Yeah, dude, it's called Devastator," and like, the dude from Exodus played guitar on it or something, and then like really quickly. I like act like I was checking a text message. I went on Wikipedia, I updated, made one line about him being with Devastator before he made the Dave Matthews
Props.
Band in North Carolina.
Oh my God.
Recently, after immigrating from South Africa,
That's beautiful.
and everybody's like, "Oh no way!" I'm like, "Yeah." What's even more, if you
Oh my
buy
God.
Under the Table and Dreaming and you listen to the melodiphone riffs, they're actually heavy metal riffs, but reinterpreted for melodiphone. And
Jaded,
they-
jaded
"Oh,
by
no
the
way."
apartheid.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then-
Dave Matthews
I'm not even
emigrated to the
joking.
US to
I'm not
play
even joking,
metal
but
band.
there were 5 people
Yeah.
that all bought the album over the course of the next few months, and they got back to me like, "Dude, I don't hear it."
I am shocked. Okay, the digressions on this podcast are akin to YouTube tangent holes.
I'm sorry.
It's incredible. I mean, it's great, but like, I am just shocked that we're able to get from like point A to like a dirty
Watches,
car
dirges.
to Dave Matthews Band having metallic undertones about like Devastator, and Ryan's friends buying albums to prove him wrong. Like, exactly how did we get here?
No,
Oh my goodness.
no, it wasn't to prove me wrong. It was to hear what I was talking about, and
Oh
I had
my
to show them
God.
where it was. And I'm like, "Oh, you don't hear it, man? Yeah, it's in there."
Oh, dude, yeah,
Try-
totally.
Just
You gotta-
if you actually play that riff on a guitar with gain,
You'll
it's
feel it. It's a
You'll feel
feel
it.
thing.
You'll feel it. You'll feel it. All
All
right.
right, I'm moving on.
Yes,
Good.
please.
I want to talk about the demise of the dipstick, the engine oil dipstick.
Is
Yeah.
that the thing?
Yeah,
Why?
like almost no modern cars have dipsticks anymore.
well, no one checks
No,
them
they
anyway.
do.
so-
I know,
They do.
and a lot of them don't.
Subaru, Toyota, Honda.
There are several makes that still have them, but I would say more than 50% of the units shipped in the United States these
Really?
days
No,
don't have engine oil
that's not
dipsticks.
true.
That sounds high.
That's not true. That's really high. I think if
People
you,
might not know
if
what
you
they
s-
are, but
I don't
I
if
bet
you
they're
said
still there.
German.
No,
That'd be true.
no, I think even
Or
like the new
American.
F-150s 2.7 and stuff doesn't have a dipstick.
No,
Well, all the American cars
they
have
do.
like the oil life monitor, and people
Right.
just live off of that.
Right,
now.
and like the electronic oil level and stuff like that. Like, anyway,
You can still check the oil on a Tesla, though, can't you?
yeah, totally.
Yeah, you can.
Yep. Yeah, they have oil temp and all that. It's good. But like, I've got Mr. Wags E91. That was like one of the first cars like universally like scorned for not having a dipstick.
Really? Oh, I
2006.
didn't realize.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And like a lot of the AMGs don't have them and stuff like that. And they haven't for the last 10, 15 years. But like,
Audi doesn't.
Do we actually?
Well, Mercedes owners aren't going to get
Yes,
their
we
hands
do.
dirty checking their
Uh,
oil.
The thing is, Audi does not have
Get
a.
closer to the microphone.
The thing is, Audi does not have a dipstick.
Yeah.
but they have provisions for a dipstick. They still have the tube,
Right.
and they put a stupid little cap
And a
over
lot
it.
of the BMWs are that way as well. Like my
But-
car has a tapped like bung plug in the pan for a
bung.
Yeah.
plug. Wow, we are all super mature. Yeah. Hey,
anyway,
let's
so,
check out this chick. She's got like 3 boobs.
So I do actually care about this. I think that's really stupid.
Okay.
It's one of those things.
I think it's stupid too, but like I
it-
honestly like the last time I checked a dipstick, it's like fucking never.
Oh,
like when I'm
I-
topping up oil, I think is the last time I checked a dipstick.
I do
last
fairly
night for me.
regularly. Yeah, I do
I
fairly
I changed the oil in
regularly.
the Baja Bug last night.
Yeah, well
Yeah.
that thing you have to
So
live
easy.
by the dipstick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is my
I
reason.
don't have to do anything to change oil.
Oh
It's
my
so easy.
god.
They're using all these like different sensors, right? These sensors are wearing
Yeah,
out.
usually just like
I
2.
get a lot of people that are either getting false negatives or false positives for being
Yeah.
low on oil.
And that's
On
that's the
Audis.
only argument I can think of against ditching
But
the dipstick.
that's the thing. It's a $1 item at most.
But how does
That
the
will greatly affect the
I bet it's more than $1.
the reliability of the vehicle in the future. Well, I mean,
modern
if
cars
bought-
leak
bought
a
in
lot
bulk,
less oil
yeah.
than they used to, though?
But they consume more because they have crazy long oil change intervals.
well, okay, some of them do.
Well, a lot of them.
But how is the sensor so accurate?
The sensor's pretty
They're
reliable
not-
too.
But I
until
mean,
they die.
where I guess it depends on where's the sensor to be able to monitor the oil level so accurately,
Usually the bottom of the
regardless of
pan.
whether it's. Okay, I guess.
It's
I don't
probably
know.
it's usually the same sensor that's like oil pressure.
And they're very reliable. I mean, they're solid state. They use Hall sensors and a little metal element, a float.
So that'll figure out, even if
and
you've been
they
around the
they
engine and
know.
you got-
Hello. They know when they're getting erroneous measurements too. So
Yeah.
I mean, they'll pretty much tell you when they're failed. I mean, a lot of cases that isn't necessarily true. Like they don't have a fail secure
Okay.
method or anything like that. So like I lament the demise of the dipstick because I still change my own oil and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I like to topside oil change my cars, and you can't do that on Mr. Wags,
Oh.
which is where you vacuum it out of the dipstick tube or whatever.
Oh, sure.
Which is badass.
Sounds
Especially
like
when you have a topside oil filter. It's just like, I can just drink beer while I'm vacuuming the oil out of my
That sounds really
crankcase.
nice.
That's
That
great.
actually does sound really convenient. I've never done that.
Oh, get a Mighty Vac. It'll change your life. It's incredible. I do it to the Fiat, not the electric one, but the other one. Anyway, so I was more saying this just to elicit the reaction. Yeah, we do care. And like Ryan was saying, like it's not $1, but I mean it's probably like a $25
very,
add-on for
very
every
cheap
car.
item.
And I get that, like when you're dealing with like a federal mandate for like a backup camera hardware, and you're trying to save money elsewhere, you're gonna ditch the dipstick tube because the majority like crossover people don't check them. But I still wish they'd put them in.
Yeah,
Or at
it'd be-
least like make it an option. Put it in part of like a sport package or something.
Well, what's the harm in having it there?
Right.
Well,
And
especially
it's
if-
just a cost thing. That's all it
Especially
is.
in
I suppose.
Audi's case where you have the provisions there for
Yeah.
a dipstick. It doesn't make sense not like it real in Audi's like a really good example of this. They have all the provisions. They have a car that's very common for having oil consumption issues.
No way.
I know.
Are you
shocking.
talking about the 2.0 TSI?
Yeah. But they
Wow.
they sell the part
No.
number, the Volkswagen part number
Yeah.
at Audi dealerships for this specific purpose. Like they should have just had it. Like they literally have the exact same
But
Volkswagen
this is the
part number.
Volkswagen Audi group. They make just like full retard decisions all the
Yeah,
time.
but what about other brands?
BMW,
Yeah.
Porsche?
Porsche. Does Porsche still have dipsticks?
Porsche's a Volkswagen.
No,
I suppose they don't.
no, they don't.
It's a,
Because you
it's a
can't even see
Volkswagen.
the engine anymore.
Right. I don't
Yeah.
think the. I
Well,
think the
even-
997.
Do they even
or
have
sorry,
engines?
The Boxer doesn't.
Does the
I've checked
Porsche-
under the hood and under the trunk, and there's no engine
Does,
in there.
does the
weird.
Porsche actually exist, or is this just a?
Wow, this is turning into too existential.
Yeah. All right, that's
I was
fair.
just trying to elicit the fact that we want dipsticks.
We do on
You know, actually, I can say Porsche does exist because the 914 exists, and I love the shifter in the 914.
How it looks or how it operates?
Operates.
Okay,
It's a dog leg.
it's a Volkswagen shifter.
Oh,
so.
yeah, that's true.
It's a dog leg. So
Oh, dude, dog
reverse
boxes
is-
are amazing.
All right, so guys at work are complaining about it.
Excellent segue, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys at work are complaining about it because we have a customer on and they just don't like it because it's different than your normal type.
That just reminds me of the Top Gear episode where James buys that 2.316.
Yes,
yeah,
and
so
it's perfect.
Actually, so hold on. That was going to be my question. So I know that's a dog box, but is
Yeah.
the
Dog
manual
leg.
dog leg?
There's
Dog-
a
yeah,
dog
There is a
box.
difference.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
dog
right.
leg.
Dog
You're
leg.
right. The dog
Dog
box
leg.
is different. That's a crash box.
Right.
But yeah.
So with the dog leg, I mean, is that the Cosworth one? Is that the only one that used that transmission, or were the other 190s?
Yep,
manual-
the Cosworth was the only one in the United States.
Interesting. Why would they do that?
Except
Oh.
the 2.6 liter Sport Line 190E, which is actually I need to look for one of those right now.
Do it.
Yeah,
Do
you
it.
I'm
should.
gonna, but like that had it had
It's
the
a very
Cosworth
rare
interior in
car.
it, and they're like
Interesting.
color keyed interior.
Oh, that's
They're
awesome.
really
It's a
cool.
Beautiful car.
6-cylinder cars.
Sounds like a unicorn.
They are, but they had like carbon fiber trim in like 92 on the
That's
inside,
kinda
and
neat.
and those were
Yeah.
offered with a very costly option with that dogleg gearbox. You could also get it in a couple of 5 Series options from the late 70s to the mid 80s. But yeah, the Cosworth 190 is the main one.
So the reason
I learned to drive stick on one. Of
what
those.
I want to say about the
Interesting.
dogleg gearbox
Yeah.
is that is for the more evolved human.
Yeah,
Because people that don't understand why the dog box is inherently better are actually cavemen. They are not fully evolved
cave persons.
Cave
No,
peoples.
they are Cro-Magnon or Neanderthal. They're not actual fully
Since you said it
evolved
so
humans.
correctly and with correct dialect, I'll let it slide.
So, and this is my reason why.
Okay.
All right.
Genus and
my
phylum
my
and kingdom.
reason why is, first off, all right, in my case, I am moving this 914 into and out of a garage. So I'm going from first to reverse. That is a perfect shift for a dogleg because you're moving it just in park, basically to park. So it's good for parking.
Right.
It's good for if you're like parallel parking or something. That is the best. Instead of having to go like this, you
Yeah.
just go like this. You
Well,
go
during spirited driving, you're so rarely in first gear anyway.
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's say now you're going into traffic. Traffic, everybody complains, oh, you have to go like this. Well, you have to do that from second to third
Well, I mean,
anyway.
the
And
whole reason the dogleg box exists is because of tighter tracks, and the 2 to 3 shift is in a line.
Yes.
And those are the
and
gears
that's
you use
I'm
most
getting to
often
that.
on the track. Okay,
yes,
fine,
I'm getting
but-
that. So let's say you're driving in traffic. Well, if you're in traffic, you're either going slow enough. If you're ever in first gear in traffic, you are at a crawl. And that second gear shift is not coming for a very long time. So you're going to be stuck in that first gear probably for quite some time. So that second to third shift is actually really convenient in traffic because then you're just going to be going from,
I don't know
say,
if I agree with you.
Yeah, but if you're going from like 15 to 30 miles an hour,
It
that's
works.
second to
Traffic
third
like
gear.
that doesn't happen all that often.
It happens on 394 every day.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm
I
doing.
don't
I'm
fight that a
doing.
lot. I
I'm
go
doing
from a
second to
stop
third,
25 to a stop.
It
which
makes more
again
sense
would
if
be
you
a
have
first gear sort of thing.
Depends
but
on the car.
It makes
Yeah.
a lot more sense if you have a high torque engine, like the V12 Vantage Aston Martin S with the 7-speed manual. Because that's a dogleg, and that makes perfect sense because you've got all that V12 torque.
Right,
and
you
you
can
can
start in second if you
Yeah,
want
exactly.
to. So
Yeah,
Well,
that's like with my
914
van,
though,
yeah.
you'd never want to start
like
take off in
the
second.
80s
You're
cars that
getting
had a
there.
4+1 or whatever, and had like a 4-speed and had a low,
Yes.
or the
Oh,
6-speed
yeah.
in the Cummins Ram
Seven-
where it
70s
says
and 80s,
low
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mhm.
and the 1 is technically second, and it's
Sure.
a dogleg first,
Oh, yeah.
essentially. So like
There
a
you go.
Cummins Ram is a dogleg,
There's
kinda
actually there is actually
It
one.
makes me want one now.
right?
Yeah,
well, you
they're
should
really-
want one anyway. They're awesome.
They're really really cool gearboxes. Anyway, people that don't appreciate those, just generally speaking, I've not met they've never thought it through. What were you gonna say about it though? I interrupted you.
I don't
Sorry.
remember anymore.
Okay, but
I might
anyway.
have already snuck it out.
Okay, cool. Well, anyway, dogleg gearbox is for the more evolved human. If you do not like them, you belong
We
in
want
a
dipstick
cave.
tubes and dogleg gearboxes,
Yes,
and
sure.
we
Fact.
do not want electric water pumps.
That is a fact.
Which
as
is my
well.
next topic.
Yes, the
Oh.
electric water pump. Tell us about it.
I want to talk about these a little bit. So again, back to Mr. Wags. Hate to beat the dead horse. My 1 Series M has this. I do tons of these things because there's good money in it.
You literally have a stock shelf in your basement
I do.
at your house
Yeah.
full of electric water pumps.
Yeah, it's because I can buy them at my wholesale account and do them in like an hour, and I
Yeah.
make like $200 on that. So anyway, these things, what they are, they're essentially a very small impeller-driven housing, about 1.5 inch inlet now. It looks like a little water turbo, and they bolt to the
Cute.
side of the engine block. Yeah, they're adorable. But the only problem is these things, they don't like start wearing out and then die.
They just
They
die.
just die.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't like that. I like the mechanical water pump where they start to like groan and whine and they don't cool
Yeah.
well and they leak before they start leaving you stranded. And I get why they do it. It's more efficient to not have belt-driven accessories when you don't need all the capacity all the time. But I also I don't like it because I mean it's just adding one more thing you have to think about. It's adding another thing to a maintenance schedule that's expensive. I mean, it's adding the cost of building the car as well.
Yeah, but water pumps are kind of inherently expensive.
Not really.
Well,
no.
I don't know. I know on my Porsche, it's a pain in the ass, and it's like
Yours-
belt
your-
driven, and
your Porsche
maybe that's
has-
an
The
outlier.
944 is
Your
maybe
Porsche
not a
has
great mechanical
arguably
water pump to
the
compare
worst
it to.
water pump I've ever seen.
Like a water
because-
pump
Yeah.
for Nick's Corvette is probably like a nickel from AC Delco.
Yeah.
No, the part's
The water
cheap.
pump on the Baja Bug's really cheap to replace.
Yeah,
too.
I bet it is.
Yeah,
because it doesn't have one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
half
wow.
hour
Oh.
replace, right?
Anyway, no, his
A
water
whole
pump.
half hour.
Uh-huh.
We are
Whole half
actually
hour.
doing a water pump on a 944 at my shop, non-turbo,
Hey, fun.
and 7.1 hours is the book time for it.
And we're talking about water pumps. I want to talk to you about the water pump on this Lexus ES330 I'm
Ooh.
doing the timing belt on.
Yeah,
Horribly designed.
Interesting.
yeah.
To take the water pump off of that thing, all of the timing belt covers, upper and lower, there are a bunch.
Yes.
Then you have to take both accessory drive belts off. There are 2. Then you have to pull the harmonic balancer bolt out and the harmonic balancer.
Is it belt? Is it timing belt driven?
The water pump?
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, well that makes sense. You just do it when you do the timing
Right.
belt.
I'm not done. Then you take the timing belt tensioners off. Then you take the belt off. Then you have to pull the cam gears off.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah, because there's a plate that sits
Why?
behind the cam gears that sits in front of the top 1/8 inch of the water pump.
Why would they
If
do
this
that?
Can
plate
you
had been
just-
better engineered,
Can you just cut the plate?
you can when it's out of the car, but I mean, there's like 1.5 inches or something between the frame rail and this piece. So like, there's no implement I can squeeze down there. But like, that is a car that is serviced the world over. They sold a bajillion 3MZ and 1MZ engines.
And that is a terrible water pump design.
And like, I had
That is
Corey
particularly
holding the
bad.
pry bar and a belt on the cam gear with all of his body mass as I had a jack handle on a 1/2 inch drive socket to get the cam gear bolt out of this thing. And I only took the front one off because I read on a forum you could just pull
Oh,
one of
sure.
them and wiggle it enough, and
Yeah.
that's true. But like, that is mainstream cars. Like, that is one thing where I love the electric water pump.
Sure.
Because it cannot be buried in the bowels of the engine.
Yeah.
It can't really leak onto crucial shit because it's always in the bottom. And I mean,
You know,
Is it more? It sounds like it's not even really any more expensive to replace than or probably cheaper.
much cheaper to replace, much
Yeah.
more expensive to purchase
So it's
and
really-
to manufacture. It's a
Okay.
giant electric motor.
so
basically,
it's
and a
really
controller.
just it's net even.
It might be, but the fact, kind of what I'm getting at with these things is they fail suddenly,
Sure.
and mechanical water pumps typically don't.
You see,
But they can.
another
They can absolutely,
Yeah.
this is the thing.
but you know
The way to do it is you do an accessory belt driven water pump like you have on the 4AGE, which
Right, 'cause
as
those are
slow
cheap
as
and
it
they
is
work.
a fantastic design. That's what every engine design should be based off of, I think. But
Oh my god.
well, I mean, they did so much right with that engine. But no, they're water pumps. If the water pump fails, it shreds the alternator belt.
Yeah.
So your car literally dies. You can't overheat the car. That's
nice.
actually a very good design.
Yeah, I mean, deliberately engineering something like that to like, just like idiots don't look at idiot lights or the temperature gauge. So like, oh, it literally stalled the engine. I can't restart it.
yeah, like
I have to tow
Which
it.
actually brings up an interesting question. Why do companies still design interference engines?
I think it has to do with compression.
Yes.
and
Compression.
Nick probably knows more.
Efficiencies.
Yeah.
It's very,
think it's
very
static
hard. It's
compression.
very, very
Alright.
hard to make a non-interference engine that has it's
Good airflow characteristics.
yeah good airflow
Sure.
characteristics and is very, very efficient. The only one I can think of like that's like objectively very efficient is a 2JZ.
We should do an episode on the best non-interference engines. Not an episode, but a topic.
The best.
It's
Not,
like
well,
the Forerunner.
the
That
correct
has like a pretty
answer-
high compression.
No, the correct answer
four
is just the
cam.
2JZ. That's the best. Period.
I really like the 5VZFE.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
overall,
It's a
like,
workhorse.
no, it's a good engine, but the 2JZ is just a
That's a
better engine.
non-interference engine?
Yeah.
GE and GTE?
Yeah, all the 2Js, all the 1Js, the whole JZ series, and all of the
They
M
probably
series.
have some pretty funky looking pistons to
They
get
do.
that. Yeah.
very
That's
strange
fun.
looking.
Yeah. Probably
Um,
lots of peaks and valleys and hot spots. But
Well, no, they don't have hotspots
Whatever.
really on them, but no, that's a. But yeah, no, the non-interference engine, it's a great engine design, but that's just one of those things. The only I don't understand why you'd ever design anything other than non-interference engine when you can just have an electric motor. It does everything better.
Here's a topic for future episodes. Is the 2JZ as good as the LS? Let's say like
I
they
would
made
say-
as many 2JZs as they built LSs, and you could find them at junkyards for $400 or whatever.
Which
Yeah.
Would that be
You
the
can in
preferred
other
swap
countries.
over?
well, it's a much larger diameter or just physical size engine. I think the reason the LS is, well, one of the reasons the LS is so popular, beside its just availability, ubiquity, parts cost,
sure.
is the physical size of it. You can put
I
it
suppose.
in
It is pretty tiny.
because there's no cylinder heads on the damn
the
thing.
2J, if I can fit a 2J into a car, it's getting a 2J.
Right on.
It's a great engine. It sounds amazing.
I do an N54.
You would?
You'd rather have one?
Really?
Why is that?
Why?
Just because you
Yeah.
know it better?
It's way lighter, and
Oh,
nobody's really broken one yet. So
How much power have they made on them?
800 horsepower.
All stock internals?
Stock, yep.
Okay. So that's
So I mean,
that's on par with
they're
the
limited
2J.
by fueling now, so like they have to figure that out. but
That's on par with the 2J. Then.
and I don't think it's gonna be as strong as the 2J, just because like the block on a 2J is like it's made
Insane.
out of like depleted granite and just like weird shit, and it's like 7,000 pounds.
You know, have you ever heard of the neutron star, where it's just a bunch of
Yeah.
neutrons put together?
Yes,
That's
I have.
actually that's what the 2J block is made of.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just neutron star surface material.
The 2Js use a fabulous engine, especially considering how old the design is.
Yeah.
So
And it's a non-interference engine.
Which we just learned. I just learned.
yeah, I thought that was common knowledge.
No, I didn't know that.
That's like the main thing. That's actually why I would say the 2J is better than the LS.
Sure.
Like,
I
you're
mean, I
never
don't-
gonna snap a timing chain on LS. I've never heard of that happening, but
Yeah, that would take a lot of abuse.
But the thing is, what you could do is drop a valve.
Weird, especially if you had like an LS7 or something.
Yes, it happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
Oh,
But
wow.
on 2J, you drop a valve, unless like the valve keeper completely fails and the valve drops straight into the engine, which I've
Kaboom.
never heard of in my life.
Yeah.
Like even if a valve spring fails, that valve's never going to touch a piston.
The 2J
So-
really isn't that high revving an engine, so.
Oh no, it is. It's over square. You can get those well
I'm saying
over.
stock rev limits.
Oh, stock rev limits.
I'm comparing it to like an RB. It's main.
Well, yeah,
Japanese
they
competitor.
they limited it to a very low power.
I know, because it's a Toyota. It's super reliable.
Well, no,
Yeah.
no, it's actually for the gentleman's agreement in Japan. For that, in the 90s, they limited it.
What a dumb
to,
thing,
like-
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no,
it's just
actually-
like the
LS wins
155
just
speed
on
limiter.
that.
Well, no, the reason is, I don't think that was a dumb agreement, because what that did is that allowed Japanese car manufacturers, instead of having like a muscle car thing where it's just all about horsepower and get it however you feel like, to what else can we do to make a car fast?
Yeah, but why not? Why couldn't they make high horsepower engines and make them go fast?
Well,
They
the
did.
other
They
ways?
just told everyone they made
Yeah.
276.
Well, that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
I mean,
Which is a load of horse shit.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
because the 3000 GT most definitely made like 215, and
Well,
the
like the
2J made
R34s were
320,
400 something.
or not 270, 317.
I was gonna
and
say like
two-
it made more at
220.
the wheels with an all-wheel drive
Yeah.
system than they said it made at the crank.
Yeah.
So,
Significantly more. Yeah.
it's like a
Magic.
335. It's the same thing.
So anyway, Burger.
Yes.
Let's talk about some interesting engineering.
Sounds good. All right. So this week I picked another topic. Just trying to lighten the load on Ryan a little bit here. I wanted to talk something that isn't necessarily fully car related, but it is related to my daily driver anyway, and the future of motoring, at least part of it. Three-phase induction AC motors. So basically the motor that's in your Tesla, your Bolt, your Leaf, your Fiat 500 electric, your i3, anything like that. They're all alternating current induction motors. No brushes. And these things are really, really cool how they work. So again, just like last week's topic, it's just like a super complicated thing that some really smart person thought up that I'm just gonna like
It doesn't
really,
sound
really
like
wreck.
it's that
Well,
complicated.
it really isn't. But I mean, how to do a motor without having these brushes, which is just
You just
basically
switch magnets. You-
right, exactly.
magnet,
So all these
magnet.
things are is it's two like circles full of these little magnets. Each one is facing north and south, right next to it.
Circle
so
or
the stagger,
sphere? Or I mean, it's sphere or
Circle.
cylinder?
just a circle. Just picture like
A circle.
Like a disc.
Okay.
a disc that's got, let's say, like
A thick
3/4 inch wide by 3/4 inch wide by maybe 3 millimeter tall magnets
Okay.
on the outside facing in, and they're
Yeah.
staggered north south. And then there's another, like the rotor, that the part
Yeah.
that actually moves has another wheel of the same size magnets with north south. And all that thing is doing is pulsing power into the windings inside the magnets, inside the wheel, back and forth. So it's just flip-flopping the current in these things, in these
Yeah.
coils, back and forth at a very precise rate. And that rate has to time with either just a little bit faster than what it's actually observing, and this motor requires little magnetic sensors inside of it to figure out this rate, or a little bit slower, depending on if you want to accelerate or decelerate. But these things are really, really reliable. The only like moving part is this giant wheel
Rotor.
of magnets with copper inside of
The
it.
rotor. Yeah.
Right, the
rotor's
rotor.
the only moving part, and that doesn't sound like. It probably just has some bearings on it, and that's
Right,
it.
it just has like 2 sealed ball bearings on it, and that's it usually. And
Or
then
magnets. Could be held in place with magnets.
it
Ooh, yeah, it could
but
be. It could be
moves.
magnetically
so
levitated. Well, no, because if you have
You
just a
circular magnet,
circular
you have a
magnet,
conducting
and then
piece of metal.
that would be really cool.
I would worry about like axial stability. I mean, magnetism. You can absolutely figure it out and calculate it that precisely. But like the strong force in between, like the distance between the rotor and the stator.
Actually,
You could use that though as a way of using smaller, more efficient
If it was
bearings, because you don't necessarily need huge bearings if you got it stabilized with
And I mean,
magnets.
Not only that, if you had the rotor that being suspended by two magnets that are referencing whatever the current of the motor is.
Yeah.
You could change the strength of those magnets.
There
That'd
are
actually
definitely
really cool.
people smart enough to do that, but it's not me.
Oh,
that makes sense to me.
I had such high hopes,
math.
The reason why they do these things is they are like way more power efficient and they don't need any service like a brush motor would, but they require a lot more sophisticated motor control electronics because they have to know the position of everything and they're calculating all this stuff. But I mean, I think they're getting a motor efficiency as high as like 93 or 94% now.
So is this more or less well engineered or well thought out than like a TI-89 calculator?
It's about on par.
Okay.
The three-phase AC motor does not have snake on it.
Oh man.
Nor can it do math.
Oh.
But it does make many kilowatts
it
of
can.
power.
You do math on that.
The controller can do math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The motor itself is pretty dumb.
No, the motor
But
itself.
I mean, they're really simple.
That's like saying a LED can't do math. It's just part of a system.
It can't.
No,
There's no microcontroller inside of an LED typically.
No, you're right. But I mean, that microcontroller can't really do math because it's having a human interface.
I'm gonna make you do interesting engineering next month, or next week, not next month.
For the entire month.
Sure.
Well, it's both. Really, I mean,
June.
I'm just gonna make you do it until I have something I actually want to talk about.
No, this is interesting. I think this is actually really cool.
Well, they're just something that's part of like daily life that nobody thinks about or really cares about. But
No,
they're,
and
they're really cool how they work.
Yeah, no, it's because your normal electric motor like actually does have wear items on it.
Right, and those are I mean, a brushed DC motor is like really cheap to make, and they can operate on AC or DC.
And you just replace brushes.
They just replace brushes, and then you wear into the com bar a little bit. But I mean, they're good. They're just not nearly as efficient either. So I mean, there's a reason why
you have
like
friction.
Right, but they're better at some things too. Like they're better at low end torque.
Okay.
Than an AC induction motor, for instance. But they also can like burn out super easily if you like stop them. And like AC induction motors don't really. I mean, it's just like you're applying power to one of the windings, and I mean they're gonna make heat anytime you make power. But like you think of like the thermal efficiency of like a really good internal combustion engine, and it's what like 8 to 13%, maybe. I think like Formula One is getting into the 20s maybe with those things, but it's
if that.
And like I think when I heard that number, I was flabbergasted. It was probably on a podcast somewhere else, but the fact that we can get like 92 and like on the lower output motors, you can get up to like 98% efficient. Like it's just incredible how little of this power is going into like bearings.
So I guess my question is
because it's magnets.
How do you measure engine size on an electric motor?
You measure just in kilowatts output.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they won't really tell you the physical size, though.
Like a tape measure.
One watermelon?
A watermelon?
I'm going to measure them in watermelons.
Yes.
Shoe boxes.
Because, well, I mean, a kilowatt would be like measuring horsepower.
Right.
So, like, engines, you say,
but it's power consumption
it's a 5-liter engine that makes, 300 horsepower.
But
I mean, you could say like a 6-inch motor or something like that.
It needs like a cavity inside to be measured in terms of liters, though.
Can the cavity be examined?
I don't know.
What have you found, Nick?
So how do you measure efficiency then?
Mercedes said they did over 50% thermal efficiency on the dyno.
Of course Mercedes would say that, though.
Oh, fuck off, Mercedes.
I can't believe it wasn't an Italian company. We did a 90%. We lost all the papers.
120.
We spilled the wine on the paper. We were writing in red ink.
engine
I
is the
don't know why
perfect.
they were doing the red ink. Why were we doing the red ink and drinking the red wine? Oh,
I really
no.
hope Ryan never goes to Italy.
It's really racist.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, but
We have the explicit thing on the podcast.
my hand movements are on point, though.
It's good.
That's what matters.
What it?
But no, most people can't see
Beepity
that.
boop bop.
Bibbidi boppity boopity bop. All right. Well, that's
Anyway.
all I've got.
Oh, that's it?
Alex,
Well, I mean, the interesting engineer is kind of our last like scheduled topic.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we don't have to be done. If you have more
having-
stuff,
I'm having a
talk
good
about,
time.
Well,
we are.
bring up some more shit then, and we'll talk about
Where are we at on time?
it. We're at an hour and 18 minutes.
It is so hot right now.
That's
I
fair.
just want to light on fire.
I was itching to grab another beer.
Oh God.
But
Anyway, we will
Okay.
see you guys
Oh,
next
okay.
week
I guess we'll be
before I
done.
die of a heat stroke.
don't
Yeah.
die.
I'm sure Ryan will be fine. He's just being overly dramatic, which never happens.
If you guys have me
No, it
back
doesn't.
on this summer, I'll bring my snow cone machine.
You have a
Actually,
snow
yeah,
I have
we'll
an
have you back
industrial
on
snow cone
next time.
machine.
We'll
Yeah,
think of a
yeah,
bunch
yeah,
more
we'll
stuff to
have you
bring
back
you
on.
back.
Yeah.
cone. Well,
I know, I'm just saying.
I'm learning so much about you today.
Yeah. Snow cone.
And this is
machines.
perhaps the most momentous discovery.
On that
pretty good.
bombshell. Actually, Alex has a snow cone machine.
If you
You
guys
need
want
to
snow
learn how
cones,
to
hit me up.
use the on this bombshell thing a little
You know,
better.
I'm working on it. How about you do it?
That wasn't even
That
pre-war.
wasn't pre-war.
It's a pre-war snow cone machine. Just kidding.
Really?
No.
Oh, that. I'm using the chime.
All right.
And on that bombshell, it is time to end. No, it's not copyright infringement. I'm going to say it slightly different. Thanks for motor culting. Bye now.